So hello guys and welcome to another video on my channel. Today we are going to be doing Premier League predictions. So as you know, football is back on Saturday, and I'm going to do my Premier League predictions like other YouTubers have done in the past few weeks, but I'm going to do it quite late on, like so obviously it's in the same week as the football starts. Basically, I wasn't wanting to do it like too early, I suppose. But I've got all my predictions down here on a notepad, and I'm just going to go through every single team with you and explain why I've put them in that position. So before we get into this video, please do remember to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and turn on the post notifications so you don't ever miss when a video goes live. Um, and subscribe for the Ultimate Team content that will be coming in October as well. And as I say, there will be no more career mode on this channel. It will be just Ultimate Team, so just Ultimate Team. So hope and remember to just subscribe to the channel for all that good stuff. So to start off with, I'm gonna go from 20th to 1st, just to give you a wee outline. So 20th, I think, will be West Bromwich Albion. They've just came up. I don't think they're going to have the right level of footballer to survive a season in the Premier League. Yes, they've brung in Matheus Pereira. Yes, they've brung in Cedric Kipre from Wigan. But, I mean, if Matheus Pereira isn't firing for them, and they've just lost Charlie Austin as well, their best scorer from last season, things are not going to look great for them. And I just think West Brom are just going to come up and go back down again. I don't think there's going to be a level playing field there. I don't think they'll survive. I don't think they'll go any higher than that. So yeah. 19th is another promoted side, which is Fulham. I don't think Fulham will survive, just the same as West Brom, on the players that they've brung in, like Mario Lemina. Yes, he's got Premier League experience with Southampton. Yes, he's played with Juventus before, but the Southampton, the team that Fulham have got, it might do some things in the Premier League, but ultimately I don't think it will survive the Premier League. I think they need to make a lot more signings first before they can actually think about, we can survive here. I think they need a defender. They need they need another midfielder. Their goalkeeper's fine. I mean, Rodak was brilliant last year in the Championship. But as you know, the Premier League's a totally different level to the Championship. So yeah, that's just what I think. But you guys, on these predictions, these are just my predictions. You guys might have completely different predictions. I've been reading a lot of them, and some of them seem okay. Others are just doing it for the team that they support and put on their team at the top. But that's just their opinion, and this is my opinion. So just let me have it. 18th. Now this might cause a bit of controversy. Crystal Palace. I don't think Crystal Palace will survive another year in the Premier League. I don't think so. I can't remember specifically when they came up, but I don't think they'll survive again. And I'm sorry to say that for any Crystal Palace fans who watch me or whatever, if they lose Zaha and they bring in Jeremy Boga, they're not going to survive unless they make a lot more signings. Because of the talent that's in the Premier League, there's not going to be a level playing field for Crystal Palace, and I think they might go down this year. Like a Bournemouth last year, nobody predicted them to go down. Nobody. Everybody thought that they would survive, but I'm predicting Crystal Palace to go down, and I think they will. 17th is a team that have got a lot of they've not got a lot of morale at the moment. They're not at the best the best place in their brains and all that, and that's West Ham. They've just lost 5-3 there at the weekend to Bournemouth. Now, that's and you can kind of understand this because Bournemouth have just went down, but West Ham with the team that they've got should really beat Bournemouth, if you see what I mean. Like Felipe Anderson, you've got Declan Rice, who else you got? Issa Diop, you've got Haller, all of them brilliant players, and they should really and truthfully be able to do that, pretty much. They should be able to beat Bournemouth. They should be able to survive the Premier League, which I think they will, but only by the skin of their teeth over Crystal Palace. I'm just going to change one of my ones here. 2 seconds, because I've put them in the wrong place. There we go. Right. So West Ham for 17th, right? And that's just my take on it. 16th, I think, will be Burnley. I don't think they'll be as high up as they have been in the past few seasons. Yes, they've been doing well over the past few seasons, but I just don't think that they'll. I don't think they'll have the edge on like teams like Aston Villa this year. Sorry. On Brighton, on Sheffield United, on teams like that. Yes, they've beaten them in the past. I don't think they'll beat them this time. And I think it'll be quite a underwhelming season for Burnley. 15th, I think, will be a team who have been in the relegation bit for a couple of years now. And that is Southampton. Yes, they've brung in players like Salisu. They've brought back. They've got Danny Ings. But ultimately, I just don't see them really hitting the heights in the Premier League. I think it'll just be a year of survival this year, and I think Southampton fans will be happy with that. So that's just my take on it. Obviously, do leave your takes in the comments and stuff like that, but I just don't see Southampton really hitting the heights in the Premier League this year like they've not done in the past few years. But that's just my take, obviously. 14th, I think, will be the Seagulls, Brighton. Obviously, they had quite a good season last year. They dipped a wee bit in form when obviously lockdown happened. The same with Southampton. I think there's better teams in the Premier League this year than both Brighton and Southampton, and I just think that they just don't they won't want it as much as other teams. That might be a bit of a bad statement to make, but Brighton have made signings like Veltman and Lallana. Yes, they're good signings, but they're not necessarily going to get you into a Europa League place. They're not going to get you into a top half finish or anything like that. But yeah, Brighton for 14th and 13th, I've went with Newcastle. Yes, you might be saying, yeah, Newcastle, I won't finish that high. I just think with Newcastle, the signings that they are going to be making, like Callum Wilson, like Ryan Fraser, Jamal Lewis, they're all great signings. And I can't remember the signing that they've made so far. I know they've signed a Motherwell goalkeeper, but I can't remember the other ones. But yeah, the signs that they're going to be making on top of the team that they've got right now, I think they could challenge for a top half finish. Yes, I've put them 13th, but that's I think if I was to put Newcastle in the top half, but one of the teams that I've got in the top half would have to come out, and I think all of these teams who are in the top half will finish in the top half. But obviously, you guys might say, "Oh, Newcastle are shite; they'll finish 16th or 17th." But that's just your opinions. This is my opinion. 12th, I think, will be Aston Villa. If they keep hold of Grealish, if they keep hold of a lot of their experienced players and they bring in a lot of the players that they're wanting, I think they'll finish quite high in the Premier League this year. Yes, they finished quite low in the Premier League last year, but that was only their first season up. And I think they might do a Sheffield United this year. Obviously not get near the Europa League, but obviously get up the table a wee bit more this year. And I hope they do, because Aston Villa are a good side, and they deserve it. 11th, you might be saying, why have you put them 11th? Just because it's I don't think it's going to be that great a season there for them, but this is still a good season for this team. Sheffield United, and obviously this is just because a lot of the big teams have made their signings. They're not going to get away with beating Chelsea 4-0 this year. They're not going to get away with drawing against Chelsea. Ultimately, these teams are just going to annihilate Sheffield United. If Sheffield United put up a front, like they did last year, they might have a chance. But ultimately, I just don't see Sheffield United finishing the way that they did last year. And that's just my take. 10th is a promoted side, obviously, and you'll know exactly who this is. Leeds. I think Leeds will finish in the top half this year. Just because of the signings that they've made, the players that they've already got. I felt bad for them not getting Ben White back in, but obviously they've got Robin Koch now, which is a really, really good signing for them. Freiburg defender, and then they've signed Rodrigo up front. Very good striker. Used him a lot on Ultimate Team. I know it's not the same as obviously real football, but I think he'll hit the heights in the Premier League, which is going to be so important for Leeds. And obviously they've got important players like Calvin Phillips, Pablo Hernandez, Alioski, and I think these players will show the Premier League what they're made of, and it's going to be so exciting to watch Leeds this year. It's going to be so exciting to watch them on Saturday against Liverpool. So this is it's going to be a really interesting season for Leeds, and hopefully they live up to my expectations. 9th, I think a lot of you will agree with this. I don't think they'll finish the way that they did last year. Leicester. Leicester have signed players, but they'll not finish third the way that they did last year. Fifth the way that they did last year. They'll not get into the top 4 this year. No way will they do that. And I just think Leicester are not going to be that great. But I could be wrong on that, and Leicester could finish in a Europa League spot. But it'll just be up to them, the way that they'll obviously think about it, the way that they'll do it. But ultimately, I just don't think Leicester will finish in a Europa League spot. I don't think they'll finish in a top 4 spot. I think they'll be happy with ninth. And obviously, this is just with Sheffield United as well, because the big teams are signing a lot of big players, like Chelsea with Havertz, Manchester City with Ferran Torres, and Man United with Donny van de Beek. I just don't think teams like Leicester or Sheffield United will have a look in, and that's ultimately just all it is. And other teams will flourish. They'll obviously sit top half, and I think they'll be happy with that. 8th is Wolves. I don't think Wolves will be in the Europa League next year, and I don't think they're in it this year either, are they? No, because it's Leicester, Tottenham, Arsenal. Wolves will not finish in the Europa League this year, I don't think. They'll just be outside of it. And I think with Wolves, it's a it's a difficult one because they're so unpredictable. Like, they could finish in a Europa League spot, you never know. They could finish top half. They could finish in a top 4 spot. You never know with Wolves. They're so unpredictable. But I just don't think they'll hit the heights that they have done in the past 2 seasons this year. 7th, I think, will be Tottenham. You might be thinking, well, that's a bit of a terrible finish for Tottenham. And it's ultimately the same as Sheffield United and Leicester. The fact that big teams are making signings. Yes, they've made the signing of Matt Doherty for Wolves, but that's not going to get them that great up the table. Yes, they've got better players than that, but I just don't think they'll have the edge on some of the teams that I've put above them this year. But obviously, it might happen, it might not. It depends how Jose Mourinho sets them up. Ultimately, it's going to test Tottenham's character this year, and they can't do as bad as they did last year. Well, fingers crossed for them they don't. 6th, now this might be, as I said with the Leeds one, a bit of a controversial one. Everton. Now you might be thinking, why have you put Everton 6th? Because of the signings that they've made. Allen, Rodriguez, who else have they made? They might be getting Doucouré. I think Everton have got what it takes this year to maybe be up there and get into a Europa League spot for next year. I think Ancelotti is such a tactical genius that he'll be able to make Everton finish in a great position for next season, and I think hopefully they will be able to do that. I think Everton will finish in a Europa League spot. 5th, now this is the same with Everton. You might be thinking, why have you put this team so far up? Arsenal. Now, Arsenal for me this year have made good signings, but they need more. But with the signings that they've made, they've got still a brilliant team. David Luiz needs to be the same as he always was. A really big presence in the defence, and he'll be partnering Gabriel, the new Arsenal signing, in the defence. So he needs to be showing Gabriel all the tips, all the tricks for obviously being a defender and stuff like that. Yes, Gabriel will have all that, but he'll not know how to play the Arsenal way. And I think David Luiz needs to be basically a father figure towards him and say, look, we need to be doing this, we need to be doing that, and stuff like that. We need to be holding back, we need to be going forward, and stuff like that. And just because they're both Brazilian, that will make a massive difference to their defence. I think so anyway. But as I say, these are just my predictions. You guys might have something completely different to me. But yeah, so Arsenal for 5th. 4th, now this just shows that I'm not biased, right? I'm not biased. I think Manchester United will finish 4th. I was going to put them 3rd above Manchester City, but I don't think they've got the right players yet. Yes, they've signed Donny van de Beek. They've got players like Rashford and stuff like that. They all finish in the top 4, but not above Manchester City or any of the other teams that I'm about to say. I think they need to be signing a centre back now. I think they need to be playing Dean Henderson in goal and not De Gea. I think if we bring in Reguilón, I think that'll be a brilliant signing from Real Madrid. Upamecano needs to be signed next as well. And I think if we make these 3 bits of business, I think we'll be ready for the Premier League, and I think we could challenge for the title. Hopefully, if we sign those players, hopefully we play a lot better than we did at the start of last season, or because we played like during their lockdown, we played amazingly. Like we were getting brilliant victories against not bad teams at all, and we had the best form from the Premier League. And I think that's important, and I think we need to be starting that way this season and getting it going straight away and keep on going and going and going. Third, I think will be Manchester City. That might be a bit of a controversial one because you guys might say, oh, Manchester City are going to win the title or they're going to finish second. I don't think Manchester City will have a look in this season. They might have a look in on Liverpool and Chelsea, but I don't see it happening. I mean, Liverpool have got a class team. Just now, sorry about that. I didn't realise that was going to be so loud. Liverpool have got a class team now. We obviously Salah, Firmino, Mane. Chelsea are building their brilliant team. Manchester City, I think they'll finish third, and I think when obviously Guardiola's contract ends at the end of the season, he'll leave, and maybe go back to like Barcelona if the Ronald Koeman thing doesn't work out for them and stuff like that. I think he might go back to Barcelona after their bad finish in the Premier League. But I could be totally wrong, and Manchester City could win the league, but I just don't see it happening with the lack of signings that they've made. Yes, they've made the signings of Ferran Torres, Ake, but I don't see Manchester City really. Yes, they'll threaten Chelsea, they'll threaten Liverpool and stuff like that at the top, but I don't see them finishing any higher than third. Second, now this is a big one. Do I think Chelsea will win the league? Do I think Liverpool will win the league? I think Chelsea will finish second. Now, Chelsea fans, don't hold it against me. You guys might think, oh, we're going to win the title with the signings we've made. The signings might not be brilliant. That's all I'm saying. Ziyech, Havertz, Werner, Sarr, Chilwell. Sarr's went back out and loaned to Nice, actually. And I think... I mean, I know yous are saying that obviously, like, yous want to win the league, but wanting something isn't like as much as going out there and doing it. I don't think yous will beat Liverpool this year. I think Liverpool will win the league again. I think Chelsea will finish higher up than they have done in the past few years, just because of the signings that they've made. Lampard is obviously a brilliant manager for yous. And yeah, I think they've got the quality now to finish in the top four and be there and up there. This is one that really, really hurts me with Liverpool. I think they'll win the title. Hopefully they don't. Hopefully Chelsea do it. I think, and it hurts me because they'll be on 20 titles the same as Manchester United. That's the only thing that hurts me about that. But I think Liverpool will win the league. Not by much. I don't think it'll be as much as last season. Chelsea will go all the way with them, and I think Liverpool will just sneak it in the end. But ultimately, I could be wrong. Chelsea could go out there and be brilliant against Liverpool, and obviously get the title. But I think Liverpool will just nick it in the end. So that's my predictions. If you've got any predictions of your own, please do leave it down in the comments, and I will get back to you on that. Maybe tomorrow or tonight there will be a Q&A. I was just going to do that before FIFA 21 launches. But obviously I'll see what I'm fixed with tonight, and I'll see if I can maybe get it out for you tomorrow. The Q&A, but I'm going to start uploading again. I'm going to start streaming again. Well, and I need your guys' views. I need you guys to watch me, to enjoy, and all that sort of stuff. If you want me to do anything different, obviously, please do let me know. But that's my Premier League predictions done. Obviously, if you've got any different ones, do leave them down in the comments, or any suggestions on who you think I should have swapped around or whatever. But thank you ever so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Please do remember to sub to the channel, like the video, and turn on the post notifications. And I will see you guys next time. Peace.